Welcome back to Spudventures and our continuing 5th edition D&D campaign, The Forgotten Ones, being run by my friend GreatDinn. Take it away.
Thank you, Spud. Yes, this is the 5th edition D&D game, The Forgotten Ones, running the Dungeon of the Mad Mage module, starring our good friend Newbiespud as Usk of House Rosnar.
Hello.
Azure as Lander Brightwood.
Hey.
Space Jawa as Jhank.
Hello.
Digo as Victor.
Hi.
And Avis as Yuliy.
Hello.
And when we last left off, our players had successfully escaped the first room of the Undermountain by deciding to go up to Waterdeep proper. At which point they assisted a young mage who had apparently knew them from their adventures before the memories were lost. They assisted him getting back to his home. They decided to sort of examine the premises of Waterdeep to see what sort of information they could glean from what had happened, which was an unfortunate not much, but Usk did end up going back to his employers to find out that the eldest son of the Castlanters has been killed. And from there, they went shopping, which all happened off-screen.
It was very expensive and very off-screen.
It was very expensive.
It was wonderful.
Yeah. Condolences shopping.
Yes. Lots of items have been bought. There was a delightful moment where the party went into a pet store. Do we want to go through that one real fast?
It's all you guys.
Sit outside.
Or should we just keep it blunt and say Yuliy was forcibly removed from the premises?
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Additionally, there was a special item I decided to include in this that I believe Jhank wanted to pick up, but definitely Lander was interested in, and that was explosives.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Jhank wanted to get some dynamite.
Specifically in the furthest reaches of the southern ward, near the south gate, where harm's way is as far away as possible from the more occupied town centers. They found a shop called the Grinning Goblin. And in that shop, it was technically speaking an alchemist shop that only sold one thing: explosives. Ostensibly, as the shopkeep said, for construction, but it was clear based on the construction of the nearby buildings that it was not being used to maybe reputable means.
Basically, by visiting, you've landed yourself in a Waterdeep Authority watch list.
Yes. Congratulations, the constabulary now has you on a very, very serious list.
We're
If the
gonna
guards
use the
weren't watching us
explosive-
originally, they're watching us now.
Yeah.
We're going to use the explosives to construct victory.
Oh boy.
But we already have Victor.
Tish.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Okay. We're going to use them to deconstruct. We're going to use them to construct dead bad guys.
I'm going to use them to construct increased knowledge in my head.
Of explosives.
That's.
Yes.
Sorry. The juxtaposition of those two sentences made very odd images in my brain. Excuse me. I'm just going to shove this dynamite in here. Open up some space. Anywho,
You've heard of brain bleach, now try
brain dynamite. All right. So One thing I do want to say before we get back into it is that on and off again throughout your shopping experience, you have seen the same sort of telltale signs of there is a figure watching you. Sometimes they are very obvious, whether that's intentional or not, and other times they have been you just catch sight of them as they like dip down an alleyway. And it seems to be a different person every time, but they still have the sort of the symbol that you guys are familiar with as the Xanathar Guild's sort of notification symbol. The other thing is that you have heard another rumor. Specifically, you heard another rumor that there was another person who came out of the Undermountain without their memories.
Really now?
Yes. That said, apparently, like, they came out in a much worse state than you guys did. Whereas you all came out with, you know, some knowledge of who you are, your past, your skills and abilities. It almost seems like just the physical body came out.
Huh.
Oh.
And that all you've heard is just the rumor of this person's existence. You have no idea where they are at this moment.
So I have a question. I don't know if something works the way I'd like to be able to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use Hunter's Mark to mark one of those people that is tracking us in order to better follow them?
Let me check that real fast.
Or can it just be used for...
Yes, no, you can, as long as you can do it while you can see them, then yes, you can.
So that sounds like something to do when we are, I mean, if they're regularly showing up, something to do once we are ready to, you know, figure out and pursue that particular plot line.
Right.
In conjunction with that, I believe my ear to the ground trait might come in handy there.
Also, definitely something that will come in handy.
All right, then.
Quick question. Did I take the time during our shopping trip to find a familiar?
I will say yes, you did. It was just one of the many things that I had not had an opportunity to add.
All right. So I have an owl familiar.
You do. Let me just... Whoops, that's the wrong thing to put it in.
We're adding all kinds of animals to our party.
Yes. As of this moment, there are many animals.
Yeah.
Trying to put the druid out of a job.
Including
now
the
the druid is
chestnut,
part
who
of
is
the
still
job.
down in the hole.
Yes, there's still the chest in the hole. There is now an owl. There is an Alsatian.
Excuse me?
There is the German Shepherd.
I was reacting to the owl.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I summoned a familiar.
Yeah.
So I've
Yep.
got an owl flying about.
Just-
Yes, you do.
Out of nowhere?
I took a ritual. So I
So
summoned
out
a
of
familiar.
nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
Roger.
out of a book.
It would be... Honestly, it'd be a little bit strange if it was just like, I performed this magic and then just like, you know, an owl comes flying out of just like somewhere off in the distance. Honestly,
That'd be
that just feels like a weird coincidence as opposed to magic.
Yeah.
it appeared it flew out from the distance because of the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it probably appeared in a puff of smoke out of the brazier.
Like a normal summoned owl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to name
Anyway.
this owl too, or do you just want to have it be owl?
Owlicious.
I'm fine with just owl.
Just owl?
You have a
Alright.
bond with it. You're beyond names.
True enough.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations of, I named my owl. What'd you name it? Owl. That's its name. All right, so what y'all want to do? You've got the whole of Waterdeep ahead of you, and you've got a big dungeon underneath you.
We've also got. We were told that the guy who owns the building over the hole has research notes or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our little mage's research notes. Do we want to head back there first, or do we
Yeah,
want
and
to
if
save that?
we want to hear about the other guy who came back without memories or a mind, Durnan probably knows them
Is the
because they
fact
would
that I
have
have
had
a
to
dog
come
supposed
out
to be
through the yawning portal.
Is the fact that I have a dog supposed to be listed somewhere, or is it just acknowledged?
It'll be just acknowledged for right now. I don't remember the specifics on making sure that your character is linked to it.
Okay.
So right now it's just in the combat tracker.
Okay.
And soon we'll be joining you all in the yawning portal, where Durnan is once again. Oops, there we go. Where Durnan is once again just sort of standing behind the bar, polishing some glasses, getting ready for the mid-afternoon / evening rush.
Avis, are you playing with my dog?
Yes.
I'm guessing there's only one dog token.
Yeah, just the one.
Okay.
I'll make some more in the future. That's just the ones I
Okay.
have right now.
Attention
So
span is gone. Sorry.
I would like to check out the bookstores, magic stores, and junk stores at some point, but I'm fine with doing that not during a session.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll cover that in some like private one-on-one stuff,
All right.
which I will be more than happy to do with all y'all. If you have particular things you want to do separate from the group. Anywho,
Just keep in mind that I may or may not be able to record those, depending.
I was figuring I'd probably do them like by text because it'd be
All right.
easier.
Yeah, fair enough.
Gives me more time to do it during the week as opposed to finding a day where I'm not super busy to sit down and record something.
Yeah.
And we can do rundowns of it later. Anywho. Yes, so you all are back in the yawning portal. It's really quiet. There's not a hell of a lot of other people. It's pretty much just Durnan and the staff who are moving, barrels of ale and cleaning off the tables and that sort of thing.
Durnan, right?
Yep.
I say that in character.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yes. What can I help you with?
I believe you have something of ours that was, or belonged
Something
to
that
one
was
of our...
left for us.
Yes.
Durnan raises an eyebrow and continues to polish the glass and goes, I don't really quite know what you're talking about there.
Is that so? Are you sure about that? Perhaps you should think through your memories more thoroughly.
Durnan gives you a look and goes, yeah, getting told to check my memory by an amnesiac. Very solid there.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Anyway,
the student mage who left before us, he left his research
name
notes
was
with you.
Mel.
He said so.
Durnan shrugs and says, this is the sort of thing that happens all the time. You get confused down there. I'm sure he thought he had notes, but I didn't see any.
who's got good insight?
I'm gonna.
I do.
Let me move my map so I can see things.
I am also going to
I'm
make
pretty good at it.
Okay. All right.
Wait. Oh wait. I
The
did a
dog is
lousy roll there.
magic.
The dog is magic. Give me a moment. I just want to double check the.
I can't get to my character sheet.
I can roll for you real fast.
Okay, because the Waterdeep map is covered everything on my screen but my dice.
Yes. Well, you can delete that if you need, or exit out if you need something else.
The X is covered too.
You gotta drag it.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Well, I need
Dog
to
is magic.
I just need to not roll for people because I consistently roll badly. Sorry, Victor, that was a nat 1.
Aw.
But you got a +6, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, if it had been anything else, would have been pretty decent. Let me just. All right. So I'm going to say, Yuliy, you are the only one who kind of gets the feeling that he's not being totally honest.
Durnan,
Mm-hmm.
there's really no reason to hide it from us. Please.
Durnan rubs his temple with his free hand and goes, look, I just wanted to get these notes written down for myself. Information on the Undermountains.
Oh, that's
Quite
fine.
valuable.
That's fine.
That's
but
absolutely
really would
reasonable.
like them at some point.
Oof.
Durnan takes a moment and he goes, all right, just give me 20 minutes. Sit down, have a drink, and I'll get you what notes the boy gave me.
Much appreciated.
All right. So,
He's a good
yeah.
dog.
Can I use that 20 minutes to do some dog training?
Sure. I mean, you're not going to get much out of it, but 20 minutes,
Well,
at least get you
and
used to the dog.
If it's as smart as the breed is supposed to be, then even 20 minutes is kind of useful.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So,
go ahead, roll animal handling. The dog seems to be a little confused by your accent.
Wasn't trained for this.
I'll put it this way. Despite, their intelligence or whatever, this is a dog that was trained by a human. So the walking lizard man with sharp teeth and claws and
the silly accent.
Yes, it's a little much for the dog right now. It's not freaking out. It's just very confused.
So I would like to see if I can make a health potion with my herbalism kit.
All right, go for it.
What do I roll for that?
I'm gonna say a good one for that is gonna be. That feels like medicine.
So do I roll medicine and then add an additional +3?
Are you
'Cause I'm
proficient
already
with healer's
proficient
kits?
in medicine. No, it's herbalism kit is what you need for a health potion.
You have to be proficient with the tools in order to get your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, I'm proficient with an herbalism kit.
Okay.
But I'm also proficient in medicine.
But you're not proficient with the healer's kit, right?
No.
Okay.
But I don't think that's needed to make a health
You'd
potion.
only add your proficiency once.
Right.
Yeah.
And only if you're proficient with the tool,
Mm-hmm. So.
Well,
which is listed.
okay, that's not great.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a 9 is not quite enough. It's tasty, whatever it is, but you get the feeling it's not a health potion.
Maybe I could sell it as a drink.
And thus
It's-
Gatorade was born.
Awful bold when I think what we've got here is like a carrot smoothie. So yeah, one of the various patrons of the bar asks if anyone wants a drink or any kind of food. Just tide them over while Durnan is away.
Well, I just kind of made my own, so
That's true enough. A healthy snack.
Jhank is too busy with his questionable level of dog training to occupy himself with alcohol.
True enough.
Do you need help with that?
So, I'll say that enough time has passed that Durnan comes back, and he's got a sort of like a case with a whole bunch of scrolls rolled into it.
It's like he popped into existence right there.
Well, I had him set to invisible. I didn't want to just drag him off. So he comes back in. He's got a whole sort of case in his hand of scrolls, and he just sort of sets it down on the table, and he goes,
"That's a lot of information for such a little kid. So honestly, I was a bit surprised.
you can understand why I might have wanted to hold on to this.
We'd just like to look at it for some clues. And frankly, I think you can probably have it back as long after we copy down the notes that we need.
Works for me. And at that point,
the question remains: how do we know what notes we'll actually need until
I just want some clues as to what happened to us down there and where we might have come from before this.
I mean,
Well,
I could
let's see
probably
what's in
write them all
them.
down.
Jhank feels inclined to just take it all, or take copies of it all.
Well,
That's what I can
we're gonna
do.
go through it all.
So here is feel free to, if you would like, make notes. So like I said last time, your groups did not meet up until the second floor, about somewhere in the middle of it. But obviously his group still went through the first floor as well as the second one. So some of the things that you learn about the first floor is that there is a gang known as the Undertaker there, consisting of many vampires on the first floor. And they are currently sort of having a brawl with the other occupants of the floor, the gang of bugbears. And goblins. Who seem to be at least somewhat associated with Xanathar. Additionally, there is a
Xanathar, you say?
Yes. There is a flesh golem that wanders that floor.
Ooh.
There is a room that has a whole bunch of manticore in it.
Oof.
And those manticore are fed by a troll who wanders the dungeon at like very specific points in time and has like a set path that it travels that it does not ever deviate from. But getting close enough to fully do that was a little too dangerous, so you don't have the specifics where it like fully goes. Just the you have some advance warning on like it's traveled through this area. It is traveled through this area. It stops at these rooms, etc. There is a even something of a rudimentary map for you guys of level 1. That let me hit the wrong button here. Let me just scroll out. Oh gosh, it's so hard to find where I just was. Let me pull up the ability. Sorry, I'm making parts of this map visible to you guys.
It's cool.
Oops. Okay, you now have a pretty decent selection of that first map of the first floor of the dungeon, where things are. Not all of the rooms were explored because at a certain point, the first group was like, "We found an exit. Let's keep going."
Wait, so we're and that's okay. And the circle at the top there, that's where we go in and out.
Yeah,
where Chestnut is waiting.
Yes, where Chestnut is waiting is the entrance and exit to the first floor. The other thing that is listed as far as the first floor goes is that getting to the second floor involves passing through some sort of gate, some sort of magical gate that has runes written on it. And it seems like whatever those runes did, it was responsible for the first death of the party.
Huh.
Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah. The other thing listed is just that it's very dark, so bring light or have dark vision. Because apparently just the things that wander the halls don't generally use torches. And there's obviously no natural lighting in this underground dungeon. And the last thing mentioned was that there was a there was a floating eyeball that appeared every now and again that just seemed to be watching the group.
Is this separate from Xanathar?
It is. It seemed separate from Xanathar. It just seemed it was a magical spell of some kind.
An arcane eye.
Yeah. And there was good reason to believe that it was Halistar Blackcloak's arcane eye. So,
Ooh.
Halistar Blackcloak is the man who built Undermountain.
Oh.
So, he's also the one who supplied it with all of its beasties.
The titular Mad Mage, then.
The titular Mad Mage, yes. The second floor has less notes on it. It seemed like as soon as, someone died, things got unpleasant.
The old doom spiral.
Yes. That was one of the reasons that meeting up with your group was like such a godsend. Was that it just suddenly suddenly things were not so terrible. Just right off the bat.
More warm bodies they can put in the way.
Turns out going in there with a small, army is probably helpful.
Probably better.
Yeah.
Not super easy though.
Yeah, we're going to have difficulty getting access to a small army.
Mm-hmm. But the other thing about it is the particular group that he went with, well, he was a young mage who maybe didn't know how to judge adventurers. So the writing seems to be like maybe more praise than you guys would
Deserve,
yeah. Not you guys. Not you. Sorry, not you guys. The party he was adventuring with. Though when it comes to you guys, yes, it does seem like he might have really over-exaggerated all of your good qualities.
I would think that after that, us showing up would be like messiahs.
Yeah. Like I said, he has less notes about this one, just because everything started going very wrong. But
So not really much of a map for level 2.
Yeah, not as much. There's no map of it. There's just notes that there was a lot more magic going on. It seemed to be some sort of the full extent of Undermountain was built by Halistar Blackcloak, but it was expanded on some old dwarven, an old dwarven city. And it seemed that the second floor really showed off some of that architecture, but it had been sort of subsumed by the madness of Halistar Blackcloak, and this second floor is very magical. He even labeled it the Arcane Sanctum.
So on the map for the first level, do we know what the stars mean?
Offhand, no.
Don't know what the stars mean or the yellow spotches.
No, you do not.
Okay.
Sorry. He didn't put any, like, you do see them on the map, but there's no clear sign of what those actually are.
I mean, we can just ask him later, because we also should ask about the runes on the gate.
Mm-hmm. Then the notes sort of just start disappearing as it gets to level 3. There's just there is just a simple note that says everything went wrong. They're all gone. I don't know what happened. So,
Well, that's helpful.
yeah, it seems like when you guys said you were going to go on ahead to the 3rd level, like he said, you never came back. So he waited for a good long while. Like, there's you can tell that, like, the difference between the last page and that page.
Okay, what did I miss?
Notes. I
Yeah,
wrote
just
them
some
down,
notes.
just in case.
Basically, 2nd floor seems to be extra magical. Things went very wrong. Miles did not leave as many notes, and any notes on the 3rd floor are just, there's nothing there because he basically didn't make it there. He just went back up.
Okay.
But he did write down that there was another gates with the runes that led down to the 2nd floor or 3rd floor.
3rd floor.
But they had different runes on them. So he didn't quite see what happened when those activated.
Okay, so there's no rune for error here.
Sorry.
Nice.
Sorry, took me a moment to process that. Yes. So any questions?
Well, if we're copying all the notes, I think anything. I mean, I don't have anything of importance right now.
I mean, I went ahead and just wrote down a very abridged version of the 3 floors.
Seems reasonable.
But yeah.
Well, that's something.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what would you like to do now? Durnan, I will say, looks kind of anxious as you guys are poring over these. Man, he really wants to get those back.
We
Yeah,
said
well,
we'd give him back.
I'll make
We're
sure
just
we'll
done.
make sure he
I
gets
thought
them
he
back.
copied all of them.
He
No, he was in the
some.
process.
No, I'm
Yeah, he was in the
copying.
process, but he hadn't gotten through all of it.
How about the map?
Did he copy the map?
Yeah, like, is that something that we can just take now?
He's I think he's going to, yeah, I'm going to say that's probably the first thing he copied. Because it's so that one is done. You guys can just take them.
On some level, I'm surprised he wouldn't have maps, like, if other people go in.
Not everyone is interested in taking notes. A lot of people just go in for treasure or for a dare, that sort of thing. Durnan made his fortune with that 1st floor. He's been in the Undermountain before, and he like cleared out the 1st floor a long while ago. But it keeps changing, so he's always interested in getting more info.
Ooh.
It's the whole reason that he built the Yawning Portal there is specifically so that he can always get information on what goes in and out of the.
Interesting.
Well, I'm planning on building upon the map and continuing it as we traverse the Undermountain. So, yeah.
So are you going to tell him that, or are you going to?
Sure. I'll tell him that.
I'm going to say that Durnan's eyes light up at that statement, and he basically grasps your grasps your hand and goes, "You're not shitting me, right?"
No, I bought cartographer's tools just for that purpose.
Oh, that's fantastic news. Okay. How about this? I will. If you keep doing that for me, I will. I'll get you in and out. I'll get you and your group in and out for free,
Ooh.
and I'll pay some coin for the maps you bring back.
I'm liking the sound of that.
That was exactly what I was thinking.
Consider done.
He extends a hand to make this deal real.
I accept.
All right, so you guys now have another side quest.
Huzzah.
Make a map.
Yes, make maps.
Make map.
All right. So, any other questions for Durnan, or
Did the note say anything about like a timetable or a time limit or anything?
like there didn't seem to be. The fact that the whole thing was so dark and the like there's no definitive timetable. It's just they stopped to rest when they got exhausted from dealing with everything, and it seems like they made a lot of rests.
Okay, so it didn't seem like they were in a hurry or anything.
No.
No. Okay.
Oh,
PQ?
Durnan,
Mm-hmm.
we heard another came out in a condition similar, if not worse, than ours. Did you see them when they came out?
Durnan's going to sort of stroke his chin and go, I recall something like that, but it's been a little while. And he sort of lifts a finger to say 1 minute, runs to the back real fast. You hear the sort of shuffling of papers as he like flips through some sort of notepad that he's got or books on all the information that he keeps storing on the Undermountain. And he comes back with just a single sheet of paper, and says, "Yeah, that was. Oh goodness, she was an out-of-towner, so I didn't actually get her name before she went in. Obviously, we didn't get much when she came out. I believe they took her over to the. Where did they take her to? I think she's over in the castle ward right now. I think that pharmacist is taking care of her. Lucio, have you been to a shop?
Maybe.
Castle ward pharmacy. It's pretty, or Castle ward alchemist. Sorry, it's pretty easy to.
I mean, Castleward Apothecary.
Yeah, sorry. There are so many different kinds of shops around this area. Sometimes I get them all mixed up.
Yep.
Yeah, the Yawning Portal is in Castle Ward, so you guys aren't too far from that apothecary if you want to go visit.
Do we mind going to check it out? I'm very interested if their situation was similar to ours.
I don't see why not, but I'm not sure if we'll gain much.
Well,
it's not like any of us really went to anyone about our little bump in the head afterwards, now did we?
if I may offer a possibility, there were like 2 people who wanted to go looking for explosives.
I mean, yeah, there were.
So I'm wondering if the 2 people who wanted to get explosives could go do that while the rest of the party goes and, asks about the amnesia woman.
Seems reasonable to me. As long as you guys get back together at some point.
So, do I know what my owl knows?
There's a question.
Wow. Do you know what an owl knows?
Through your familiar's senses.
I'm gonna say you can, but it takes a little bit of effort. Like it's whatever information you get from owl will be like that amount of information in your immediate area will be lost just because you're focusing on that. If that makes sense.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just have my owl fly around observing things and not view through its senses for now. I'll just
Alrighty.
have it do its thing.
I mean, like, viewing through its senses. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, I don't know what I was about to say. Sorry, brain fart. All right, so split the party, huh? Alrighty.
Don't you know you never split the party?
I don't have any maps for the apothecary or the bomb shop, so we'll leave that map list for right now and just leave the yawning portal up. But let's go to. Excuse me. Let's go to the bomb shop first.
All right.
So yes, you are in the Lander and Jhank. You two are in the South Ward, visiting the Grinning Goblin. Every sort of shop and building in the nearby area looks completely empty. Most of them have clearly been on fire at some point in the last couple of days.
Sounds like a fun time.
And several of them are just missing enormous chunks of them. So it's a big old question of how stable some of these buildings are. And the Grinning Goblin, despite being a whole building, somehow looks worse than all of them. It just seems very sort of shoddily run, and like honestly, it looks like it would blow over in a stiff breeze. And everything's
Jhank, as a joke, as they're walking by the door, Jhank is going to huff and puff and blow on the building.
You actually see it shake a little bit. Everything in this area smells like smoke and sulfur, and it's honestly really rank.
Upon seeing that the building actually tilts a little, he is going to have his dog wait by the door while he goes inside.
Seems reasonable. All right. So yes, you enter the Grinning Goblin, and it's full of smoke. Like, it's just sort of hanging in the air. You didn't notice it through the windows because the windows were completely fogged up. The smell of everything in that area of the South Ward just instantly 10 times worse. Along with the sort of sulfur smell, you smell like weird minerals and something that smells a little bit like urine, and it's just it's a cavalcade of awful smells. It's a sensation, and not in the good way. And you see lining the shelves are all of these sort of, there are like small black balls. There are these just bowls full of powder of all sorts of shapes and sizes. There is there's all sorts of random knickknacks and goods that don't really seem to be for sale, but are just filling space on the walls. And there is a counter behind which is a very, very, very old-looking woman who is fiddling with a. It looks just like a weird hollow stick. You're not entirely sure what it is, but it's just this weird little hollow metal stick. And she's just sort of like, she's got these huge goggles on that is just like very carefully examining it. She's put some sort of like metal rod down this tube to like clean it out. You guess you're not entirely sure what's going on.
Jhank is going to try to avoid disturbing her and wait until she is not busy with whatever it is she is doing.
You hear after a few minutes of her just sitting there, carefully scraping at this tube, doing something or other, You start to hear a weird sound. It sounds like a hissing noise. Almost like something is burning.
Well,
Is that like something I do a notice roll or something?
I will investigate to look around the store.
I will
just
also
in
do
the
an
meantime, but
Yeah, this is it's I'll say Jhank, you hear it. Lander, you see it. Just sort of in the back, like further beyond the counter, there's a door that leads deeper into the building, and it's sort of propped open to let the smoke out. And you see in that there is like some sort of powdered trail that leads straight to this counter, and there's a small fire that is like traveling up that trail at a slow pace.
I continue to watch.
Jacques doesn't see this happening, he just hears it.
Yeah, you just hear it.
Is that something we should be concerned about?
Are you seriously going to get deathed by Looney Tunes?
No, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you guys by a Looney Tunes joke. The fact that you said that seems to have caught her attention, and she like stands up, like kicks her chair back, which like lands on this powdered trail and just like sort of smears it all over the ground. So the as soon as the fire reaches a certain point, it just sort of fizzles out without enough fuel. But now she's pointing this metal tube at the both of you, and you hear a click, and you see that on the other end of this tube there is a match that is currently burning.
We do not mean to cause you any harm.
She takes a moment. You can see her sort of trying to squint through the goggles, like she does not understand what the hell she's looking at.
Neither do we, lady.
And then she like raises them and goes, "Oh, that's better. Sorry." And you see her like put the tube up. You see her just like, she doesn't even lick her finger. She just puts them around the match and stops it. And goes, "Sorry, I didn't notice you. What can I help you boys with?"
So what would have happened had that trail of powder not been extinguished?
I
ask.
She doesn't seem to understand what you were talking about.
I point to the trail of powder and say, that was on fire. Where was it leading? And what would have happened if it reached its destination?
She looks down and goes, "Oh, well, I guess I would have caught on fire." Just like it's the most normal thing.
I see.
Jacques is going to turn to Lander and he's going to say, I like her. I very much like her.
Good for you.
She smiles at the lot of you. She does not have many teeth, and what teeth she has have been blackened by the like soot and smoke and ash that she seems to surround herself with. And she sets down the what you guys don't know, but the audience has probably guessed is a very primitive looking gun.
I guessed that's what I thought it probably was.
And she she sort of puts her hands across the counter and goes, "The name's oh god, I've forgotten already. It's been a very long day. People just call me Grandma Gobbo."
We've forgotten a whole lot more.
I mean, we know our names though.
It's true enough, you do. She chuckles and goes, "No, I'm kidding, of course. I remember who I am, but most of the folks around here, well, the ones who still live here at any rate, call me Grandma Gobbo. How can I help you?"
She is a human, right?
Yes, well, you guess.
Anyway. I introduce myself as Lander Brightwood, and I inquire about the tube. The way you're pointing at us makes me believe that it might be some sort of weapon. But I can't quite determine what it does.
She takes a look at it and goes, Well, I'll be honest. I'm not 100% sure on what it does yet. It looks pretty threatening when I hold it up like this, don't it?
Indeed, it does.
And just based on how she lowers it, you actually do see a like really thick metal ball roll out of the tube and just thunk onto the desk. I figure I could probably use it for some sort of projectile, but I'm trying to get everything right without making the whole thing burst on me.
Well, then I shall have to come back later and check on your success.
Well,
I'm very interested in this. I want to know how it goes and perhaps help.
We'll see. We'll see.
In the meantime, though, we heard you were in possession of a very particular kind of object.
Explosives.
Yes, that.
She points at Lander and goes, "Good." Turns to you, Jhank, and goes, "Don't be subtle. It goes over my head."
Very well. We are here about stuff that blows up.
Well, you've come to the right place. And she sort of she pulls a like metal box out from under the counter and just slams it on the table, opens it up, and she now has a small register to take your coin, and goes, "So what sort of explosives are you looking to get, dearie?"
The kind that I can study.
Well, I got a few duds around here somewhere.
Sorry,
I'm fine with them not being duds as well.
I had a bit of what? I'm guessing he just.
There really should be a permit involved or something here.
Well,
there's a reason she's sequestered herself off end of town, and why everyone else has moved out. It's the South Ward. People don't care about it as much. She smiles and says, "Well, I'm sure we can work out some sort of deal. I mean, personally, I'd rather you take the duds off my hands. If someone's going to be messing around with it, learn why they didn't work as opposed to, just use the ones that do."
I can do both.
I mean, she's off. She has dud what? Granite dud bombs.
Dud bombs, yes, dud bombs and some dud dynamite. There's she basically sets out a like series of she's got some brick looking ones. She's got some that look like hammers. She's got the sort of classic round ball kind of bombs. And she has dynamite, so you are free to. She goes, "Well, these are just the models I've got in stock right now. I've been working. I'm a one woman. I can only do so much."
How much is the dynamite compared to the bombs?
She takes a moment. She I'm assuming you're asking that question. Like in character too?
He's inquiring. I mean, yeah, there is an inquiry about price.
She sort of looks like this is the first time someone has bought from her in a while. And she goes, "Demand just shot up." And she starts pointing at different ones. She goes, "Well, these classic versions right here, these are my first ones. They're my babies. These are about 20 gold apiece, I'll say. And this," and she picks up the stick of dynamite. "This is some very powerful stuff. It's hard to get everything just right so it doesn't, blow your hand off as soon as you use it. These are 35 apiece." She points to the other two and goes, "Those don't work as well, so 10. 10's fine."
So which ones are the first ones she pointed to, those are the ones she said are duds, or?
No, she hasn't. None of these are the duds. The brick-looking ones are currently the brick-looking ones are not powerful. They're 10. The ones that sort of look like hammer grenades, basically, they are not working properly either. Like they still technically fire, but they're basically just like they're basically the prototype dynamite for her. So they're also 10. The sort of, it's cartoonish, but the classic black round bombs, those are 20, or yeah, those are 20. And the sticks of dynamite are very powerful because it's dynamite, and those are 35 gold apiece.
Okay, so there's like the first, so those are the three kinds of explosives. There's the dynamite, there's the stick bombs, and then there's the black bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are the duds, are they just not good for anything, or do they just not function properly?
Well, it could go either way, honestly. Most of them, the mixture's off. I was still getting things sort of under control, so most of the time they just sort of and as she does that, you actually see like a puff of black smoke just escape her mouth.
Somehow I imagined that happening.
And then she goes, but every now and again, some of the duds are just a little too powerful, and and she points to one of the houses across the street.
So if they were used with a good stick of dynamite, would they increase the explosion, or would it be a flip of the coin?
More or less a flip of the coin. You'll never get less than the dynamite. It just won't be as powerful as if they both worked.
And how much are the duds?
5 gold apiece.
All right. I'll take one of the spheres, one of the duds, one dynamite,
Okay.
and maybe some powder.
Okay, I have a question that's an out-of-character thing, that's an observational thing. Do the sticks of dynamite look like they could be attached to an arrow?
There's definitely small enough that you think you could, but it would also throw off your aim, probably. So you'd want to be like very careful with it.
That or practice with unlit dynamite.
Yes, that or practice with unlit dynamite.
So here's a thought. You shoot dynamite at someone, I firebolt it and it explodes.
Yeah, that would probably work. That's a terrifying thought. I feel as though I might have made some sort of mistake, but I guess I'll roll with it. All right. If you could just make me a note for that in the notes, I will go ahead and get those added because I'm gonna have to mess with some of the stuff.
All right.
And yeah, she gets you some black powder as well.
Okay, so the dynamite is 35. The bombs are what?
Bombs are 20, and then the duds are 5 gold apiece, and the other one, the less powerful explosives, are 10 apiece.
Okay, let me think a moment here to work out how much.
In response to that, Digo, yes, I enjoy laying the track for my own destruction.
Or the player's destruction, depending.
Well, I can't just say that outright, Spud.
Well, yeah, but that should be the implication.
So how much is the powder?
She sort of strokes her chin at that and goes, I'll say 2 gold for a bag of it. Seems reasonable.
All right. I'll take 2 bags.
All right. And she wraps everything up nicely for you lot. Smiles and goes, anything else I can help you with, dearie?
Do you want anything?
Okay, so we've got. Wait, so there's the duds are 5. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I have enough to buy what I'm thinking of buying.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can always come back later.
You
can always come back later.
Sorry, you said something and did I
You can always come back later.
Yeah. The shop's not going to disappear on us yet.
Right. I'm thinking he will. For now, he will take. Well, I think I should have enough for him to take 10 of the sticks of dynamite. 3 of the bombs, and then 5 of the duds.
Okay. So you
That's a
wanted. You said 10 sticks of dynamite,
Yes, 10 sticks of dynamite.
5 bombs, and 5 duds.
No, 3 bombs and 5 duds.
Okay, sorry. Alrighty. There you go. Got a note for you that shows it all. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that'll be
Could I examine that contraption?
The
gun.
one she was holding? Yeah.
Yeah.
She takes a moment and goes, not until I'm done with it, boy.
All right. I'll be back later.
They will definitely have to make a return trip later.
Oh, boy.
The siren song of the gun.
Yes.
I mean, it's probably better at killing monsters than bows.
It's debatable.
I mean, have you seen an early tech gun?
Yeah. Though, on the other hand, I probably can't tie dynamite to bullets.
No, you definitely cannot.
It's like the firearms from Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, well, those are matchlock rifles. That was the idea. They were they're a favorite of mine in terms of sheer that really changed things.
Okay, so I also wrote those explosives on my character's notes, so we've got that covered 2 places.
Cool. Alrighty, then let's cut over to the Castle Ward Apothecary.
All right.
Okay.
It is late in the afternoon. It is the apothecary is still dealing with some sort of line, as I mentioned in my sort of notes, and that this is a very, very popular place to get medication, just because the owner provides it cheaply and is just generally a nice guy. Someone who believes in philanthropy. So it takes you a little while to even sort of get into the place. But once you're in there, you see that this is, despite the line, despite the amount of people, this is still a very, very well-stocked store. You can see all sorts of like healing potions and all sorts of medications, herbs, any sort of remedy, professional or home style, just freely available on these shelves. And you see the line does lead up to the counter, which is being run by 3 different humans who are all just sort of taking requests, filling them out, getting the people taken care of. But you know, just from like the way people are talking and the names being used, that like none of these people are the owner, Lucio. So
I guess there's like lines leading to each of them, right?
Yeah, this place is super busy.
How fast are the lines, and how long do you think it would take to get to the counter?
If you're trying not to make any sort of scene, probably about half an
All right. I look over to Yuliy and Victor, and I say, it may be faster if I just check out behind the counter. Do you mind catching some attention real quick?
All right.
I suppose I don't approve of this.
I'm just not in the mood to waste much time.
Understandable.
And if I get caught back there, I will handle it myself. I will not lay any blame at your feet, obviously.
As long as you're willing to accept those... bleh. Oh my god, words.
Consequences.
Those consequences when they come.
If anything else, my status may protect me.
Or it might make it worse.
I'm interested in finding out.
Alrighty, so...
And
What?
I leave the method up to them of how they create a distraction.
Alrighty. Victor, Yuliy, what you gonna do?
The first thought that came into my head is a really horrible idea.
That sounds like it'd be a great distraction.
God.
I mean, you at least have to share the idea.
Depends. It really depends.
Mhm.
It's literally taking the horn I have and just blowing it really loudly.
Come and listen to the song of my people.
Yes. Come, let me spin a tale of...
Be like a bard.
There is something
Actually-
entertaining about a paladin doing a job.
If you're gonna blow that horn, do you mind if I get a few feet away? I can add to that.
The issue with the whole plan is I don't think I'd be able to get anything out without, like, laughing.
I mean,
So if I could summarize
I think
that she would go off about some fantastical tale at the top of her lungs, that'd be greatly appreciated.
I mean, you could basically go through your oath, and that's your oath and the little bit you remember of your travels, and that would probably be entertaining enough. I mean, you do
Sure.
have you do have that bonus that
I
the where you look out of town, and so people are like, oh, I see.
Make a charisma performance check.
Yes. Do that for me, please.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 13's pretty good. What did you want to do, Victor, to contribute to this?
Okay. If she's going to be, I guess, reciting an oath, is that what she's doing?
It's the oath of that any oath of the ancients paladin makes. That's basically from the player's handbook.
Yeah.
Okay. I will then use Druidcraft to spot it up a little bit.
All right.
Druidcraft?
Yeah, it's sort of like their version.
Version of prestidigitation and minor illusion.
It does many things.
It
Right.
does so many things.
Harmless sensory effects, flowers can bloom, other sensory effects like air, sounds or certain smells.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things that it can do.
I'll give an example. I had 3 spellcasters. One did a minor illusion of a wolf. One did sound effects to make it sound like it was real, and the other did smell effects to make it feel like it was even realer.
Wow.
Yeah, that can work.
And it was completely legal. These
Teamwork
cantrips
is
are
legal.
broken.
Teamwork is in fact legal. So yes, I'm gonna say that ups it to the point that this very much captures the attention of like everyone in the room. There's a few people who are like, I don't know why she's doing this here of all places, but I'm into it.
I was a bard in my past life.
So yes, there is a suitable distraction for Usk to do what he needs to do.
Should I make a stealth check, hopefully with advantage?
Stealth check with advantage, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, that gonna do it. Yes, a 28 is most definitely going to get you where you need to.
All right, so
Hey.
I basically use the discretion to slip behind the counter and into like the back rooms of the apothecary.
In the back rooms, it sort of seems like Lucio also lives here. It seems like this
That's kind
back
of what I
area,
suspected. Yeah.
this back area is some sort of home. It's pretty modest and humble. There's there's a small fireplace, a small dining set. There's a couch that there is a figure laying on, though they're completely covered by a blanket at the moment. You can hear soft breathing, so they're not dead.
Do I detect anyone else like in the immediate area of the living quarters? Is there someone else here?
Aside from that, the person underneath the blanket, you can hear. This is a 2-story building, by the way. There is a small set of stairs that go up.
Gotcha.
You can hear like some small amount of shuffling happening upstairs.
Okay, I keep my ears out for that. If that person starts moving towards the stairs. But I go to look at the figure under the sheets. Like their whole body is just covered.
The whole body is just covered.
All right, I pull back just enough to reveal the head.
It is not who you're looking for. This is not a woman previously described. This is a sort of an older human gentleman who is very, very softly snoring.
All right, I place the sheet back on and move on.
You presume, just based on where he is and the sort of articles of clothing he's wearing, that this is probably Lucio.
Ah. Well, that was almost bad. I'm going to sneak away now.
With a 28, you are more than welcome to continue.
All right, I continue, and then I heard shuffling upstairs, so I make my way upstairs.
Yes. So you get upstairs. As you sort of land, as you hit the landing, you see there's just like a small stand that has like a few like drawings on it. They seem to be from some children that have been given to the doctor. That he's it looks like he's trying to figure out a place to frame them, because the wall is absolutely covered in various like thank you notes and just basically, signs of gratitude for the work he's done.
That's what a scrapbook is for.
Yeah, well, you get the distinct feeling based on as you hit this landing that he's not the most organized guy outside of his store.
He's probably got help for that.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably got a business guy.
Mm-hmm. But there are a few different doors that sort of that. But there's the big spread of pictures and thank you notes and stuff. And then there's a hallway that has about 3 different doors on either side of it. The one that maybe goes to what you assume is some sort of large bedroom, just based on it being in the middle of the hallway. One that you can hear the shuffling behind, and you have no idea what the other one is. But the other one is at the very far end of the hallway.
I sneak over to the door with the shuffling sound is coming from and try to listen closer.
Okay. You hear the shuffling does not appear to be like pacing exactly. It sounds more like someone just continuously sort of running into a wall. And every now and again you hear like the very gentle scrape of a fingernail on a window.
I gently open the door.
You see a woman who is she looks to be some sort of elf based on her sort of gaunt features, her long ears, and her height, which is somehow even above yours. She is a very tall woman. But she's wrapped in this sort of like tunic that sort of like it sort of looks like a hospital gown.
Yeah.
And you can see that nearby, on sort of like a chest, is a set of adventurer's gear. Like you can see some armor, you see a sword, you see a whole bunch of things just sort of laid out together on top of this chest. You guess based on the size of them that they probably belong to this woman.
Yeah.
But she does not seem to be there at all. You just sort of see her every now and again, like she's looking out the window of this room at all times. And she's just sort of like approaching the wall, bumping into it slightly, backing up, turning, trying to go through a different part of it. It looks like she's trying to go somewhere, but like does not comprehend where she is.
Her pathing is broken.
Yeah, and every now and again you see her like run a hand along the window, as if she understands somehow that windows are supposed to move, like has forgotten everything about how they move, and so she's just like dragging a hand down it, thinking that will be what opens it for her.
Is there... All right, first things first. I assume I can move around the room and she barely notices me.
She does not notice you at all.
All right. I look through her things and see if she has anything that contains information.
You don't see anything that would tell you about the Undermountain. You just sort of you just see, hints at what this woman maybe once was. See the sword that indicates she might have been some sort of fighter. The gear seems pretty well worn, like she's been in a lot of battles. You can tell she comes from like the east part of Faerun, that she's traveled. Like you get a lot of hints as to like who she was without lots of details.
Right.
But nothing about the Undermountain.
All right. I look out the window and see if there's like a spot that she seems to be like pointed towards or focused on.
I want you to roll perception for me.
Ah, that good skill.
Yes. The only thing that you have like a definite sort of feel about from this is that you're pretty sure the yawning portal is the way she's looking.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
And you said did you approach her at all, or are you just sort of looking out the
I think
window?
as a consequence of trying to find her eye line out the window, I think I would have kind of gone next to her.
She stops moving for a very brief moment. And you hear a voice. And it's coming from this woman, but it doesn't sound like it's coming from a single person. You recognize it as the voice you heard while you were trying to recover some of your memories. And it's very, very quiet. But you hear whispered from this woman's lips, "You must go back. I cannot succeed without you." And that's all you hear before she starts walking again.
So she's possessed.
Yeah, seems to be the case.
Could be a lot of things.
Question is, is she speaking as an ally, or
I put a hand on the elf's shoulder and try and stop her and say, At least let this woman rest.
Okay. The elf struggles against your grip, and you hear a soft cracking sound from her shoulder. And there's a brief moment of that, like that you hear that cracking sound, and then you hear her hitting the wall again. And when you look down at your hand, you're just holding ash. And when you look back at her, you see that like she has started dissolving where you grabbed her.
I take a couple steps back and brush off any ash that lands on my robes.
Yeah, that happens. It seems to be whatever is happening is low problem. She's still just hitting this window. But now now it's getting harder. Now the shuffling footsteps, the sort of scraping of feet on wood has become like normal footsteps. The thumps have gotten louder, the scraping has gotten louder, and then it becomes stomping and like pounding at the wall. And with each impact that this woman has, her body just completely breaks down until there's just a pile of ash and a tunic next to this window.
That's
Hope you
not
find
traumatizing
peace.
At all.
I hope you find peace. But we're going to prepare first, because many have failed before us. And even if you think we've got the best chance.
And you don't hear any response from the ash.
Of course. I'm just sort of speaking to myself at this point.
Fair enough. So yeah. I think I might need another stealth, bud.
Yep. Let's see.
$23 is pretty good. So, yeah, you hear the sort of like you basically downstairs. You can hear the like snoring from Lucio stopping, and you manage to as he sort of like wakes up and rubs his eyes and tries to figure out where he is and what's going on. You manage to slip out of that back room.
Yep.
Before he gets up there. And yeah, you exit back into the apothecary and you see Yuliy putting on a show. Or rather, finishing up a show, I should say. Yeah. Anything else?
I gesture for Yuliy and Victor to follow me out once they're done, and I leave the apothecary.
I wrap up with like a nice twirl and a bow and just like slink out.
You hear some clapping and like someone tries to hand you a coin to go past.
Take it.
No.
Do it.
No. You could take any coin that's shoved at you. I say no.
Well, I'm not there right now.
Yuliy does not busk.
Oh, an owl flies down and snatches it from the guy's hand.
In the building?
Kind of assumed it was just outside.
No, it was inside the
No.
No, I'm
apothecary.
still
All
inside.
right.
In
Never
front of
mind.
all the customers.
It'd be pretty funny though. Where did that owl come from?
Throws a javelin
Magic.
at it. No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, I relay to Yuliy and Victor the fact that I found the survivor who was possessed by the voice we heard trying to get back inside the dungeon, and then she dissolved into ash.
Fun.
Oh.
Ash.
So you say this after we've gotten back together?
Sure. I relay this with the whole party once, if it's around the same time that we all join back up.
Yeah, we probably get back, rejoin after we're done with. Like, we would have had a pre-sign. I suppose we can just go back to the yawning portal if we didn't.
I have one other place I'd like to go.
Okay.
Well, I'm talking about, did we discuss where we'd meet up after, or how do we know where to go?
I think meeting up at the yawning portal is something that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed.
Easiest way to make it roll.
Okay, while they're there, now, have they still been followed by those Xanathar goons?
Seems to just like as you guys approach the south ward, like you guys, no, they didn't. The dog seems to be better at sniffing them out than you guys were. So as soon as someone started tailing you, they saw the dog looking at them, backed off. And the other group, they didn't seem to have followed you guys.
So the dog is now spy repellent.
The dog rolled good.
The dog is a good
Dog is good dog.
dog.
That's a
Lots
good
of
dog,
treats for
Jhank.
the dog.
So where did you want to go real fast, Spud?
You mentioned at one point that I have a home.
You probably do.
I would like to find my own home.
While we're at it, before they leave the yawning portal, Jacques is going to bring up the question of if they catch any more of these guys following them, should he try to mark them so they can follow him?
I'd say that
them
depends on
how?
whether we're deciding to pursue that tangent before we go back in the dungeon, or if you should save your mark for inside the dungeon.
Well, what are the... it's a level 1, and I have what? How many of those can I use before rest, or whatever?
Hunter's Mark. You have 4 first level spell slots.
So I could use it before we
Worth noting, it only works for 1 hour. So
Yeah.
So it would be a question of, well, I guess that would be a question of when do we want to pursue it?
Once we've got all our other ducks in a row.
Okay.
Quack.
Quack.
Like
Wah.
they're not
for what it's worth,
doing
again,
it
with the
much, you know.
notes that you got, you know that like Xanathar has some connections to the first floor, so you can probably get info that way anyway.
Yeah, there may be some value there, just even in the first floor.
Okay, so let's see if we can. Oh, I've got an idea. I've got an idea to try and help find Usk's house. We
the dog?
we have the dog sniff Usk and see if you know what, I'm just gonna stop referring to the dog and use the name. I'm gonna have Crunchbite try and smell Usk and see if then Crunchbite can lead us to Usk's house.
Pardon?
Crunch bite.
Via scent, presumably,
Yes.
like a place that you live has a lot of your scent on it.
I mean,
Not
wouldn't that just
wrong.
lead the dog back to me?
I mean, it could. I think it's gonna. You know what? I think
There has to be a better way.
Yeah, there has to be a better way. It's a funny way. I love the idea of this. I think it would require a pretty big amnesiac, honestly, just to like process what it wants to do.
Okay, I threw the idea out there.
Just a tad unrealistic.
For that.
Yeah, I think you might need to give me just a moment.
Wait,
We also need to find Miles again at some point.
Why is that?
Because he might know what the runes on the first gate do. And there was also one other thing. Oh yeah, all the stuff on the map. What all the markings on the maps mean.
We could probably do that right before we go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are
This
the
is the thing
odds?
that we have to do eventually.
Okay, I'm guessing it's probably highly unlikely that he knows where Usk lives.
Nah.
Yeah, Miles probably doesn't know where.
Usk, what do you do for a living?
I mean,
I'm basically
works.
an armed gopher for House Rosenar.
Okay.
The best people would probably have been those people we almost broke the door of, but I don't think they want to see us.
No.
I mean, you did break the door of it.
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah, House Castellanter is in the process of grieving. You won't want to mess with them for a while.
Yeah, they explicitly stated to not come back.
Mhm.
Any potential
Or
of like lower grade, whatever their name is, employees that wouldn't be involved in that right now that he could, or I suppose he wouldn't remember that, would he?
I think this is. I think that I need a roll. I think. I'm trying to think which of these would be the best.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a building or establishment that deals with property and who owns it?
I was thinking tax office.
Yeah, that would be one of the more like government institutions of Waterdeep.
Goes into
Because
town
we might
hall.
be able
Where
to
do I
go
live?
there and just look it up.
True. Yeah. I'll put it this way: you can shortcut it by. Okay. Here's what I think. I think your version of survival is a bit less like how to deal with living in the woods and more how to deal with living in the city. So I think roll survival to see if you can sort of guess based on that where you would be located. Woof.
I don't remember a damn thing.
You do not. So yeah, if you want to find out where you live, you can government offices of Waterdeep, but that's gonna take like 2 hours.
Could we try investigation?
Here's
If I roll well investigation, could that cut down the time a bit?
Yeah, I think with a really good investigation roll, we can cut that time to at least in half.
It's decent.
With a 15, you've narrowed down the specific government, but there's a lot of paperwork to go through. And
so, can I mean, if they are going to look at the tax office and it's going to take several hours, can I at least try doing the dog thing?
Sure, go ahead.
Oof.
15 is not going to cut it. The dog like understands, but as soon as you sort of give the smell, points to Usk. Like, I did what you wanted. Right there.
So, real quick, it seems like most of Usk's rolls have been proficiency times 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is that intentional?
That was
Because I'm a
intentional.
rogue.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like me
rogues-
rolling stealth, except I get disadvantage because of my armor.
Yeah, rogues. Some of the rogue stuff have double proficiency.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Darn it. That won't work.
So
Can I just go to the tax office and request my last year's tax documents?
yeah, sure. Yes, you can. And
Which will hopefully have my address on it.
yeah. So I'm gonna say it's starting to get towards evening at this point.
Ooh.
Because you guys have been out for a while. And you got there just as they were starting to close down, and it's these people are clearly very annoyed, but seeing your fineries and your bugbearness, they decide we could probably do this one. it still takes a while just because of the fact of like they have to go through a lot of information.
Mhm.
But they do manage to find your home. And, that's not the right map. And you are... One moment. Trying to find the specific location I had in mind earlier. Your home is located in the
Castle district.
Yeah, the Castle District. It's pretty close to the that's where the yawning, the market. Like it's a little bit of a ways away from House Castellanter, but it's still a nicer part of town.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if I can pull up. There's so many different things I have to grab. Where is West? Yes. So you have a pretty nice house on Siren Lane, which is pretty close to the basically you are near the like bazaar and the market. You're near the like some of the walking statues of Waterdeep. There's I should have just shared the like part of the map that it's on. Like basically you have one of these corner houses, Siren Lane. Let's see if I can put a little pointer to show which one it is. Oops, that's too much. You have this house that the little thing is centered on. It's basically it seems to be just based on like the paperwork you're looking at that it was selected to be close to the kinds of people you would need to rough up every now and again. It's good. It's a place that's near to a good source of information because it's the castle ward near the markets and the bazaars. There was some you presume some jokes about the whole being on Siren Lane and just like the people who lure men to their deaths.
I mean, yeah.
So yeah, it seems to be a fairly nice house. You get the distinct feeling based on paperwork that you're not actually the one paying for it.
Yeah.
But also that
so we should probably make effort not to mess it up even more so than normal.
Probably.
So you want us to wait outside, or
No, come on in. It's my home.
Yeah.
I don't have a key, do I?
No.
you don't need a key?
Yes, we do. Takes out axe.
I take out
got
my
thieves'
thieves' tools.
Puts away the axe.
You're gonna break into your own house.
Of course. And then
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
why
call.
not?
I'm gonna call a locksmith in the morning and change my locks.
Don't be silly. I'm not breaking into my house. I'm breaking into his house. Well, he's in front of it.
I'm not gonna make you roll for it because it turns out that like your particular set of like thieves' tools are exactly what you need. Like as you sit down and do this, you have remembrance of, oh, that's right, I never actually had a key made.
Oh, I have to use my lockpick to get into my own home, and that's how my security works.
Yeah, that's your security. Is you can't like you can't make a copy.
I have a special lock that can only be picked the way I know how.
Yeah,
That's actually a pretty ingenious level of security on some level.
Right?
It's basically like you have pretty clear. Basically, you set it up so you have pretty clear knowledge who exactly is going to be coming into and out of your home.
Nice.
So, yes, you enter. It's a nice little one-story building. There's like a kitchenette area. There's sort of a den that has a nice little bookshelf on it, or in it, I should say, with a cozy little fireplace and a real big chair.
Alright.
And you can see further back into it is a nice little bedroom, a restroom area. You know, it's a cozy little house. It's not the most expensive thing out there, but like some of the like bits and bobs in it are real nice. Also, what you can tell is just from looking at it, the comfiest bed you on.
No expense spared on the bed.
Nope.
As it should be.
All right. I start checking around for any secret compartments or notes or diaries or that sort of thing.
Okay. Let me see.
You want any help?
Sure, you're all free to raid my place, I guess.
Woohoo!
Not with the axe.
Oh,
I'm
nat
not
20.
with the axe. Goes into the kitchen.
All right. Man, with that nat 20, I'm going to say you catch sight of the fact that the books are not in a like the books look particularly organized, but also not the standards like standard way that things are organized as far as books go. Like it's not by title, by author, by book size, or anything like that. There seems to be a pattern to it. And you just with that, you just flat out deduce, oh, I see. His journal is this one.
All right. I go ahead and give it to him.
Yes.
Perfect.
So you remember that there are some secret compartments in like your kitchen area and in your bedroom area, but you probably don't want to open those because that's where some valuables are, contracts and things that would cause problems.
Yeah, just the usual slicks and the frames and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so you open up this journal of yours, and it has a lot of the entries are very sort of pragmatic.
Yeah.
A lot of it's there's a lot of ones that are like X jobs today, lists of like where people are gonna be, bookkeeping, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And then within the last several entries, you see the records of it are actually very like standardized, and there's actually daily. And then as you get closer to the end, you see that it goes. Let me pull up the calendar because I can't remember the name of these months. So the current date is the third day of third Alturiac, year 1492. The last journal entry is from like 3 months ago.
Ah.
And it says that I have found I found someone willing to pay a larger sum of money than I would get from the castle for exploring the Undermountain with a group of adventurers and bringing back magical items. And it says that I have requested 2 weeks off, and that hopefully this will be a most profitable distraction. And that's it for that final entry.
That's why I was down there?
Money.
Money.
I was under the impression that I was down there on some kind of personal mission. Or a personal mission for a friend or a contact.
There was a you do have that ring. You do have that bag with that ring in it that says has the House Rosnar crest on it. And when you woke up, you do remember that you were tasked with finding somebody. But no, the journal does not reference.
And wasn't that in Jhank stuff anyway?
No, the bag that had the moonstones and the ring in it was thing.
Sorry, repeat that.
The bag that had the moonstones and the signet ring in it, the one that had the House Rosnar stuff, that was not that was separate from everyone's possessions. That was in its own little chest.
Ah,
Gotcha.
right.
Okay.
So
And it was Jhank that remembered it.
yeah, and then eventually us also recalled.
So I have a ring of my own house, and I can't remember the details of the quest it was attached to.
Nope,
And it's not
I know that
anywhere in my
Jhank was-
journal.
it's not in the journal. No,
I just
something.
I thump the journal on the table. It just says
Table did nothing wrong.
Maybe you have another secret journal somewhere.
Maybe he's checking for mimics.
I think I just stopped making records once I was about to turn on my employers.
Oh.
I'm vexed by this, I'll be honest. I'm kind of angry with my past self. Especially after the experience I've had today, I'm in a touchy mood.
I apologize for laughing, said the DM.
No, it's entirely appropriate.
How long ago was that entry again?
3 months.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
and that's before. And we were just in there a few days ago. So what have I been doing for that 2 weeks off and the 2.5 months in between then and now?
Perhaps it's something you didn't keep in your journal.
Well, obviously.
Perhaps
thought
it is
Does it look
I-
like there are any
Angry
pages
won't
missing?
help anyone right
No,
now.
it does not look like there's any pages missing. Like,
Okay.
and it's not even like at the
Not even at the end of the book, yeah.
yeah. This is like 3/4 of the way through.
Perhaps
That
it-
said, I feel
Wait.
it is in my I feel it is ostensibly in my duties as a DM to remind you that when you went to House Castellanter, your employer, earlier today, they said that you had spoken to them 2 weeks ago about taking that 2 weeks off.
Oh. Okay, I did not remember that at all.
Yeah, so there's some extra level of screwy here.
3 months
here's an
ago, I made contact with a higher paying house for this job, and I set up. So I spoke with them, and we started setting up this time period to take time off, so I could go into the dungeon for someone else.
Is Us currently holding his journal?
I'm kind of standing over it on the table.
Okay.
So, did the journal say he had taken time off or that he was going to?
It said that he had requested the time off.
I guess it was in the future of that day, which makes sense. Okay. Well then,
Well,
I
perhaps
take the ring out of its pouch, and I said, I feel like there's something important I'm forgetting about this.
Perhaps the
Personally,
times that we
I don't
that
think
we
the
rest for
answers
the
are going
night
to be
and
found
start
here.
fresh tomorrow morning.
I was hoping to find answers here, and I guess I got a couple, but
I don't think the answers for this you're going to find above the surface. The answers we're looking for are below us.
You may be right.
So don't beat yourself up so much.
I wanted to have a clear head before we went in there, and I suppose that was too much of a luxury to ask for.
Well, we do still have 2 other potential leads to follow before we go back down.
The Xanathar thing?
Yes.
You know what? We can't really do this on an empty stomach. What's he got in his pantry?
Nothing. I've been going through it.
What, have you eaten all of it already?
I've been throwing out the stuff that's clearly rotten after 2 weeks. And anything that's not, I have been eating.
Well, it should be noted this is a
I
time.
did state I was going into
I haven't been out of town for 2 weeks. I've just been off work from the Castellanters for 2 weeks.
And I mean, this is a time where they take into account the fact that they don't have refrigeration and that. So
I just want to say real fast, I am so happy right now. Yuliy,
What did
you've
I do?
thrown out a lot of stuff. There is a lot of food that looks like it's gone rotten weeks ago.
I start collecting it.
Wait a second.
You have a really bad problem with taking care of food, don't you?
I start collecting all the bad food.
Huh.
why are
How
you collecting
long
the
have
bad
I
food?
been gone?
Long enough for all of this stuff
I
to
took
get rotten.
daily
You got
notes and
nothing.
then I stopped. I took daily notes of my work. I even wrote down my own treachery, and then I stopped?
Maybe you just stopped coming here.
But then where?
Can
Yawning portal?
can I make an
Another-
investigation roll to see if there's any possibility that this house may be being watched?
Go ahead.
Just look out the
Uh,
windows, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to say that my owl is just circling around the house with its passive perception of 13.
My passive is way higher than your owl. Wow.
Yeah, so I got a 15 to take
Yeah.
a look.
My
You
owl's
did
got a
not
passive
see
perception of
anything.
15. Did my owl notice anything?
The owl did not notice anything.
My
Can I
passive
roll
is
perception for the owl?
I think yes.
All right. Let's see.
The owl does not see anything.
So there's possibly nothing. All right.
I did mention the dog scared away some of our followers.
I looked through the house some more.
With a 9, it's just,
You
it's
already
a nice house.
you already nat 20'd my house.
I did.
Yeah. Well, he nat 20'd like figuring out your book organization system, but that was about it.
Yeah.
With a 9, you don't notice any of the other things got hidden.
Okay,
That's
so
Like, how much
aforementioned
dust
things,
is
nothing.
over the furniture?
That's excellent question.
There's a fair bit.
okay, is there a calendar or timekeeping piece anywhere?
I
in
hold
this
up the
house?
journal.
I mean, like, is there a calendar that would mark the last time he was in this house?
No, it's just the journal is the only piece that references time at all.
I do not have a calendar hanging up on my wall with like X's drawn on the days. No.
What would you think would be the roll to determine how long it's been since the food rotted?
I think you already said
would-
like weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like
would assume
precisely.
nature.
Yeah, you can go
Nature or
with nature.
medicine.
I think we can just assume that the day I stopped writing was the day I just either that day or soon after I just disappeared. At least I
We're
didn't
just
come back
rolling all
home.
the information. We're just making all the information rolls right now.
Well, it's
Yeah.
rotten. That much for sure.
Yeah, the
I mean,
Uh,
I found something big by throwing out your trash. I'm gonna do what I want.
You're welcome.
Have I collected all the bad food?
yes, you've collected all the bad food.
All right.
Yeah, Yuliy with a
Victor,
16,
that's
you can.
gross smelling. Get rid of it.
There's
Get
a.
rid of it. Why?
Smells vile.
I wonder
I
if I
cast
could make
purify
poison
food
from
and
it.
drink.
Excuse me?
He does have that spell.
So we were saying about rotten food.
You can
I
just do
got-
that?
Yeah.
Wait,
You
Well,
can
can do what?
unrot food?
Oh, hold on. No, it's just rendered free of poison and disease. Like, it's still rotten, but you could eat it, I guess.
It won't poison you or give you diseases.
Oh, because I have that spell too.
What
But
spell?
it's still like
It's still largely broken down and gross.
it's past it's basically broken down slop.
Yeah.
We can feed it to the dog if nothing else. I'm sure
No!
Crunchbite will appreciate it.
Don't be
Uh.
so mean to the dog.
It's not being
He's done
mean.
nothing wrong.
I mean, I would think that. Oh, fine.
You
never
eat
mind.
it first if you want to give it to the dog.
I'll eat it.
I just throw up my hands and go search my bedroom again.
Yeah, the bed does not look like it's been touched in quite a while.
I roll history on the house.
This is in session 1.
It's a house. It's been in Waterdeep for a while. It's not a new. That's about all you can tell.
Jacques is going to
Alright.
look for potential places for us to sleep tonight other than the master bed.
Dibs on the chair.
I mean,
I've got a
Odd question. Is there everything, food's rotten, everything's dusty. Is there anything that looks like recently touched? Has anyone else been in here and touched anything before we got here?
No.
Okay.
It's this house appears. It seems like nobody has been in it in several months.
Okay.
So it's
So-
reasonable to assume that
So yeah, the locks have held and no one else has been in here.
Yeah.
I know I'm kind of diving down a rabbit hole that is all about me, and I'm sorry, but does my journal mention my contact that's a part of my ear to the ground feature? Or no, not ear to the ground. Or I guess it would be ear to the ground, yeah. This connection comes in the form of a contact in any city you visit, a person who provides information about the people and places of the local area.
Yeah. I won't lie, the way I sort of had that one thought about was that you were your own contact for Waterdeep. But I mean, naturally you would have things like naturally you would have people you contacted in the book listed. So yes, it references obviously people of House Castellanter, your employers. It references several people that have been captured by you for either messing with the Castellanters or by disturbing some of the other noble houses that your services have been occasionally loaned to.
A bounty hunter for the rich.
Yeah, pretty much.
is there anything about the guy who hired him for the dungeon diving?
No.
It just
That
says
one-
a group that or person or house that's willing to pay a lot more than Castellanter,
yeah, to
Yeah.
explore the Undermountain.
which was apparently 3 months ago, and then I disappeared, and then I got my time. No one at House Castellanter suspected anything.
No.
Business as usual, and then I took 2 weeks off, and then this happened. But in that time, I wasn't actually living here.
It's
Ask question.
It's
Is
a
it possible
mystery.
that the people you went in contact with were the Xanathar Guild, and that's why they keep following after us?
It's equally possible it has something to do with what we did down below.
Could I roll history to see who has more money than Castellanter?
Xanathar.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, who can
Yeah,
pay
it's
more
not
for
great.
that? I will also attempt to reason that out.
Yeah, I don't really know this place very well.
Oh boy.
With a 10, you don't recall, and with a 10 and a 7, you can't think of many houses that would be more wealthy than the Castle Lanters, aside from like the Lords of Waterdeep. Of which all but one are secret people.
Yeah.
And like the only other thing that maybe sort of comes to mind is the rumor that there's a huge stockpile of coins somewhere under the city.
The Philosopher's Legacy, of course.
But like nobody has found, as far as you remember, nobody has found that, sort of what the situation is regarding that. But in response to your earlier question, no, when Oral stopped you at the gates, it seemed like either he or someone, he had spoken to did contact you like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, there was normal communications with at least my bosses. And then I took a normal 2 weeks off without arousing suspicion. But I didn't Then who was I with and what was I doing? Where was I staying?
Like I said, it's a
I get that. I'm just trying to lay out the question explicitly.
Fair enough. Sorry.
You are not forming a pillow fort from my couch.
As I stop halfway building it, okay.
At the very least, the cushions from my chair stay where they are.
What about
Okay,
the
that's fair.
couch?
The couch is not my chair.
So
So then it's fair game.
And I think at this point, you hear a knock at the door.
Who does my owl see?
It doesn't. It's dark, but that doesn't really matter too much for the owl.
Yeah.
What the owl sees is it's a person in a robe, but it doesn't look. It does not have the Xanathar guild symbol on it.
Does Crunchbite show any reaction, any one way or another?
I mean, it's on alert, but that's because one, it's been generally stressful. There was a loud thump from this big bugbear who just threw a journal onto a desk. And then there was, some mild amount of shouting and magic, and now there is a stranger at this door. So it's, Crunchbite is on edge, yes.
So who
I'll be
answers
honest.
the door?
It's a good
I was
point.
just about to cast sleep to put Yuliy to sleep.
So mean.
Kind of glad I didn't.
I
so mean.
gesture for the others to be quiet. With one hand, I reach for the hilt of my sheathed dagger, and the other, I reach for the handle of the door.
The knocking continues. It's not urgent. It's just a very sort of gentle tap and knock at this door.
I open the door politely.
Standing on the other side is looks to be some sort of half-elf, a half-elf gentleman who is just wearing sort of traveler's clothes. You see, pretty prominently, there's an amulet of Shantae on his on his chest. And he smiles at you and goes, "Excuse me, sir. I'm very, very sorry to bother you, but I could have sworn that I saw someone enter here that I've been looking for quite some time. Do you happen to know Victor?"
I glance back over my shoulder.
Kicks Victor.
Ow.
Nah, I think he should hide. He's on the run from people who want to fill in that book.
Remind me?
Nah, he's got that blank book that
yes.
some people want to not be blank, but he knows it's very important that it remains blank for some reason.
Ask them who they are.
No, that's not that'll tip him off.
It's only polite to introduce yourself when you show up at someone's doorstep.
I say, that's an odd question to ask. Who might I say is inquiring?
I'm sorry. I'm just an apostle of Shantae. Victor was... I've been very eager to speak with him for some time. He just up and vanished like 4 months ago, so... He's been very hard to keep track of.
Can I make a perception roll on this guy?
Yeah, go ahead. Ooh, nat 20. There is no... you can tell just looking at him, sniffing him, catching his scent, etc. There is like nothing threatening about this guy. You don't see any like weapons. You don't smell any magic or magical components. It just seems like a pretty normal, acolyte of Shantae.
Does he seem like a genuine guy?
Seems pretty genuine.
I allow myself a small smirk and say, sounds like someone who's pretty hard to find. I suppose if I have time, I could offer my services and track him down for you if he's somewhere in Waterdeep.
The half elf smiles and goes, "Oh, good. Well, what are the costs of your services?"
Ask.
This is the right play, guys.
I approve.
I know it's the right play. It doesn't mean she approves of it. Oh.
I'm kind of just fine with whatever. So,
Well, depends on how high of a priority you would want me to consider this mission, because I work for primarily House Castellanser, but they are not in need of my services of late, so I'm working on other smaller contracts.
At this point, the half elf sort of nods and goes, "Oh, well, I'm dealing with that sort of group. Well, give me a moment." And you see the half elf reach into the cloak that they're wearing and pull out like a small series of scrolls that they keep looking through. They're very they're trying, it seems like they're analyzing something about this, and then they go, well, I believe, assuming he's not in danger, and you see more sort of thumbing through, and he goes, well, I've been taking care of his businesses while he went adventuring, and there's a lot of money to be had here, I won't lie. I believe with my salary, I could pay you 500 up front, 500 when you find him. Platinum, by the way.
That's a pretty good deal.
I think that those are very agreeable terms.
Good. And with that, he pulls out, it's a string of platinum coins, about 3 feet long. It's woven, it's a string with 2 knots at either end that just has the platinum coins attached to it. It's freaking heavy. And he hands it to you and says, well, thank you again. I suppose.
No, hold on. For a bounty this important, I'd like a few more details. How about we step outside? Step inside. I'd like to hear more about this contract and why it's so very, very, I glanced down at the platinum coins, important to you.
And he nods and goes, very well. Let me just, and he he rolls the papers back up, puts them back in his jacket. He takes a look around the area, am I about to get robbed? And
If you
then-
prefer, we can speak outside in public. But I have a suspicion that if you're going to pay this much, then there may be some details you'd rather not be overheard.
Fair enough. And he sort of graciously steps inside.
I glance to the others and make sure that Victor is not in sight.
Yeah,
Victor,
he got
he
hid.
rolled good on stealth earlier.
Yeah.
Victor out of sight.
Good.
Heavy
Hey, so what-
disappointment.
What should I roll to make tea using my herbalism kit? Just to prepare a nice batch of tea.
Yeah.
I think. Do you
that
need to
feels
roll?
like something. I don't know that you need to roll for that.
All right.
I
a
really
nice
don't.
relaxing herbal tea.
Yeah, I don't think that's something you really need to worry about.
I say to this contact, "Oh, I didn't get your name, but these are my contacts associates that help me with my work. You can count on their discretion as well."
Would you like some tea?
Yes, thank you. He looks pretty nervously at the in heavy
It's freshly
and
made.
and the dog and the sort of the most normal looking one is the warlock off. And as soon as he takes it, he sniffs it and has a moment of like, "Ah, yes, this would be delightful," and then looks at the rest of the group and goes, "Maybe I shouldn't though." So
And
he's
that's
just,
I take a cup of tea and drink it myself as well.
Yep, same.
We're not going to hurt you if that is what you are worried about.
well,
How about
you know,
The other
that's-
two, you guys want tea?
the
I
tiefling
can't
is just
tell what that.
glaring
the-
daggers at me.
The
He is so
Um,
disappointed right now. It's palpable.
Take some tea. It'll relax you.
No. Like literally a child right now.
the half elf sort of nods and goes, "Well, yes, but I also feel that that is precisely what someone who would attempt to mug me would say." So forgive if I'm a little bit on
I
edge.
work I'm indebted to House Castellanter. I have no need of mugging anyone.
And also, kind of been here for a little while already. And the tea wouldn't really be necessary if we were just going to mug you.
That never helps when you say that.
I mean, if
I
we were
know.
going to mug you, we
Still.
would have probably would have.
Please
Wait.
excuse
Wait,
my
wait.
friends. They are
Wait.
not the most tactful in the world.
Persuasion, 7. Not great.
Yes, keep digging your holes.
Is there something I
Have
can
to be
roll
nice to
to
you now.
But
see if I
it's
can
not a
remember this
nat
guy?
1, so theoretically
sorry,
it shouldn't be
too
too detrimental.
many people talking at once. In order, please. I think Digo, you said something.
Is there something I can roll to see if I can remember this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and roll history.
History.
11. You can tell from looking at you don't remember who unfortunately. But
Sorry,
you do
repeat that?
sorry. You don't recognize specifically who this person is with an 11. But you do you do recognize the based on how he's carrying himself, the fact that he's loaded down with money, the robes and the way that he's wearing the Shantae amulet, that this is more how you process, how you have been involved in that particular religion, which is sort of it's not antithetical, it's not heretical specifically, but the sort of we can be both nature worshippers and live in civilization, we can merge those, is not the most popular interpretation of Shantaean theology.
Gotcha.
So this person, you would at least you believe you would be familiar with them. Did you not have amnesia? And the person goes, terribly sorry about everything.
I've been traveling for a very long time at this point, and I'm just a little wigged out. I'm not used to this life. Much more used to managing books and keeping track of businesses and whatnot. Um, my name is Eris. Um, it's Elven. It's a little odd. The reason that I'm looking for him is that I know that he wants to. I don't know the whole specifics of it, but I do know that he was in trouble with some branches of our religion, and he's sort of like at this point he's sort of like gently thumbing the amulet of Shantae. And he goes, and I believe that there's some way that we can work this all out without him having to go on the run or the whatever it is that he's worried about. And I want to make sure that he's safe, if that's okay. I mean, coming to Waterdeep, I'm certain he's fine. I mean, this is a wonderful city, but you know, things can go very wrong when you're out.
When you're out on your own, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd like me to bring him to you, at the very least, so you and him can figure out a solution before there's a chance that he's turned into your god's authorities.
Yes, and the other reason I'm coming to you is because, well, I'm not the only one looking for him, obviously. So
Makes sense.
that's the other reason that the payment is so
So no one tries to buy me out.
correct.
I appreciate your foresight.
Well, one does what one must.
How serious is this trouble that this Victor might be in?
Well, the word on the street is that it's heresy, which is a fairly serious crime. So,
Heresy usually is.
Should I be wary of Shantae themselves striking me down?
Well, that's the thing. One of the reasons that I'm confused by it is that if it was heresy, then should he not have been struck down already?
Fair.
No, I don't believe we'll have to worry about Shantae dealing with this sort of problem personally.
All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
Well, and he'll proceed to sort of give and then
Sorry,
say,
give
like-
what?
Sorry, I don't know what's going on. So he'll give a sort of general description of Victor, like, you know, the style of clothes he wears and his appearance and mannerisms and the way he carries himself, you know, that sort of thing. It's almost a little too much detail. Like, he's been paying more attention than he probably should have.
Are you in any way personally involved with Victor?
Oh, no. No. And he sort of like he does blush at that, like, maybe I was saying too much there. Oh God.
Personal or business relationships?
Well, as I said, I manage his business. He takes a deep breath and goes, "Oh, sorry, this getting myself worked up here." He asked me to keep track of some of his businesses while he was traveling.
All right.
So I have been managing those, and
So you have met, you have spoken, you do know him, maybe not intimately,
Yes.
but personally.
Yes, as I said, he was also my mentor when I joined the church.
I see.
So, as you understand, I'm fairly worried about him.
I understand. I will see what I can do. If you would leave me some way of contacting you, if I have any information, that would be great.
He smiles and says, "Yes. Well, for the time being, I will be. I'm staying at a. I'm staying at a tavern near the. And he sort of points in one of the general directions of of Waterdeep, and near that large statue, the Sahuagin Humboldt, I believe, is the name of it. I'm staying at a small tavern near, on Tolar's Lane,
All right.
and I mean, I'll mostly be there.
Very well. If need be, I'll ask around there.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
I just have one other question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that Victor is a reasonable guy, but should he not want to meet with you for any reason, would you want me to apply some gentle force?
There's an awkward pause, and he goes, "I both wouldn't recommend that nor ask for it."
So you want violence avoided?
Why would you not recommend that?
Well, I mean, he is a quite powerful druid, and I don't know how well you are at dealing with magic.
I've had to deal with a few magical types in my career. I lie through my teeth because I don't know. I can only assume.
Fair enough. Like I said, it's if he is okay. Just obviously, I can't just say just let me know, because then you could just lie to me. But if he is, if you do manage to locate him and he is okay, just bring me some article to show it. And he sort of pauses and goes, how he might have some sort of amulet like mine. I know his has some engravings on it, so I'd be able to tell if it was his. If you could just bring it to me, and then I'll send it back with you to take back to him.
That's all you want to know, is if he's all right?
I mean, I would like him to come back and sort this all out, but he is my master. I can't exactly just tell him what to do. He knows better than me, after all.
And you're willing to pay 1,000 platinum for that information?
He sort of pauses and goes, "Yes, it would mean a lot to me."
Well, I can see how serious this is to you, so I will take this contract for you.
Thank you very much. Is your friend all right?
She doesn't really approve of my work.
She thinks we should do everything for free.
She's
I do not.
She's a paladin.
Yeah.
I'm more of the roguish type. You know, there's always friction there.
I
We've
see.
been dealing with a lot of issues lately.
I see.
She
All
starts
right.
going, cursing off an inferno under her breath.
It's
That's a
strange.
dangerous thing to be doing, I think.
Yeah, no, maybe
I mean,
don't
we've
just
been
like
going back and forth in Sylvan for the last 5 minutes.
in front of the half elf.
No, like whispering.
Yeah. But also, just because you know Elvish doesn't necessarily mean you know Sylvan.
That's true.
Okay.
They share a written language, but not a spoken one.
I
Well,
just
they have
I
similarities.
have no idea what you people have been saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. Literally,
We-
only me and Lander can understand.
We have been dealing with a lot of stress lately.
Let's not go into that. Just, I assure you that I will make your contract a priority. I'll do my best to find Victor and either bring him to you or bring proof of his safety.
Thank you very much. And with that, Eris is going to open the door, and say, "Thank you again." Close the door and walk out.
No, you okay? But once the door is closed, and once we can be assured the guy's out of there, Jhank is going to turn to Usk and say, "Now you are going to be splitting that, right?"
He's right here.
I can
I
hear
mean,
you guys.
We are all
He's
going to get a
right
fair
here.
share of that reward, correct?
Yes, obviously I'll split it.
I'm very generous, you guys.
You are.
Yeah.
My
So-
eyes are
yeah.
like so wide when you drop that amount. That's why it makes this worse in character.
So split evenly, that'd be 100 platinum pieces per each of us.
100
Yes.
platinum before and 100 platinum after it's all delivered.
So I
No, didn't he say like 1,000?
no, it's
It was-
Yeah.
1,000
500
total.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
1,000 total. So 200 total for everybody after the job is done.
I mean, as a person out of character, yeah, I can't believe you did that. In character, Jhank is just going along with it entirely.
In character, it is heavily. I can't believe you're doing this.
I call out to the house. So Victor, what do you think?
I think I'm in really big trouble here.
And why is that?
That's a lot of money to find
I
me.
feel like personally we should not accept the second half of the money because that's just a whole lot. It's a
Agreed.
bit too much.
Considering we're about to try braving the dungeon of the Mad Mage, I think the Undermountain, I really can't see this as anything but a potential advantage for us.
Did that person say that I'm their master?
Yes, that's what he said.
I picked a really lousy time to have amnesia.
Wow,
Oh.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Victor.
Oh, right? Boy.
Yeah. I mean,
If only you had put this in your book, scheduled for amnesia.
Maybe I took notes. Oh, wait, the book is blank. Never mind.
Maybe you should start taking notes. Oh, wait, you're not supposed to put anything in the book.
Yeah.
Well, that added a whole
Yes.
new wrinkle. So, I have to add, I leave this entirely up to you. Do you want to meet with this person and maybe get some more information about your own past, or would you rather just bring him proof of your life? And I look down at your amulet when I say that, and collect our free payment.
I think for now, just letting this person know I'm still alive might be more than enough. Because I'm not sure if this person's looking out for my best interests or not.
He
At
seems
any
he
point
seems
did he,
genuine
like-
enough, but
yeah.
As far
you
as
seem
I
to
can
like
tell-
it quite a lot.
As far as I can tell, he is a genuine person. I do not think we have to be concerned about deception from him.
All right.
Again, I'll note this because, again, he did flat out say this. Genuine person, but he believes that there's a way to talk to people as opposed to...
So maybe a bit naive.
Yeah.
Mm.
doesn't really know what he's caught up in. Got it.
Yep.
And
So
he could be
perhaps
taking orders
then-
from someone
Neither do
else
we.
to look for me.
So maybe look
Makes
out for
it
his
even
safety
worse, I
more
would
than
feel like.
anything.
How about the amulet and a written message?
That might be good enough.
We'll take care of that perhaps in the morning.
But
Yes.
now perhaps we should rest.
All right. So you guys are going to take the night?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then let me do this real fast. Okay. Interesting.
No demon speak in my house, please.
We're gonna die.
Oh my god, that's a terrible message to
Speech.
speak.
I used the wrong speech.
It's really funny to me.
I will never get these jokes, and neither will my stream viewers.
He said night night, sleep tight.
Oh.
Ah,
So I just that deep speech is really funny to me.
yeah. Yeah.
I meant to do it in Draconic.
Yes. So you all managed to find at least you managed to find some decent accommodations.
I have a blanket already.
Yes. There's, like I said, there's not a hell of a lot of furniture in this house.
Chair.
It was, meant for
No one
person.
touches the chair.
I've been in the chair.
He's
Jhank
not
is
feeling
Jhank is a
charged
ranger.
tonight.
He could probably just Jhank is a ranger. He could probably just sleep wherever.
What's so important about the chair?
It's my chair.
All right.
It's his spot.
I figured you would have wanted the bed.
Yes, I'm sleeping in bed, but no one touches the chair.
Well, then why don't you just bring the chair with you to bed?
It's not going to fit through the doorway.
Ah, it's a pretty large chair.
Especially not if I'm sitting
Have
on
you
it.
seen me?
He's a very large man. I do think I want to get to a stopping point because I think we're at a good place. So let me do one quick thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, if we are resting, it is a good. That does feel like a good natural cutoff place.
Yes, and so like I said, everyone manages to find some decent accommodations. There's not, like I said, a hell of a lot of furniture in the house, but you manage to get by. And as you all go to your first sleep since waking up, without your memories, you all dream.
Ooh. I
Dun,
don't know
dun,
if that's good or
dun.
bad.
It's always bad.
And you all share a very similar dream. There are some small differences, namely, the point of view you're following.
I mean, is this
But-
like we know we're sharing a dream, or
No. You unless you talk about it in the morning. But it is you traveling through the Undermountain. It's dark. There's, like I said, the only sort of light sources are the one torch that is being held in your group. The walls are heavy, dark stone, and you hear a very sort of incessant scraping noise just all over the place. And you see at the far end of this like hallway is a glowing figure of some kind. It's vaguely shaped like a human, but it's like all of the features have been smeared off, and even the sort of outline of this figure is just like radiating so much light that you cannot tell where actual edges of it are. And you hear another whispered voice. And it says, "You must return. I cannot hold your form together any longer. If
Cutting
you do
out.
not Sorry. I'm trying to do whispers, but I probably shouldn't. It says, "You must return. I cannot hold your forms together for very long. You do not return. I am losing so much power."
Oh.
And before anything else is said, the hallway glows even brighter as a giant eye opens up, a giant arcane eye, and you hear,
Oh, so that's where you are.
Hmm.
And that's it.
Okay.
I wake up with a jolt first thing in the morning and just go, oh.
There's a loud bang from the other room as Yuliy falls in the chair.
I wake up and make some tea.
Did Usk mention the whole person disintegrating thing
Yes,
to us?
yes, I did.
Yep.
So we should probably head back there today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going now. Right now.
Nah, we need to
Right now.
find Miles again.
No, now.
Yes.
Now.
But where are we going to find a couple hobbits in a ring at this hour?
Now.
Yeah, we probably need to.
Well, I've got the ring.
No,
Oh,
we're
there
going
you go.
now.
Yeah, I'm kind of have to agree with her. I think something really pulling us in that direction. If we don't go soon,
I
it's
feel
coming
like
to
we
us.
probably have a few hours.
Well,
No.
I don't think we want to waste any time more than necessary.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we even want to waste more time shopping.
Yeah, I'm not planning on shopping. I'm planning on finding Miles and asking him about the runes on the gate and
We'll figure it
the
out when we
key
get
for the
down there.
map.
We're going now.
Like I said, I think this is a good stopping.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Mhm.
That
Well.
is real good.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Mhm.
Like I said, I have many a plan, and I hope that it all goes well.
That was set up very well.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Alrighty.
GreatDinn, I don't feel so good.
Miles, I don't feel so good.
I guess we should go through all of the usual stream exity stuff now.
Right. Yes. Thank you for listening to another episode of Spudventures. As always, you can, whether you're listening to it on the podcast version on Libsyn or watching the YouTube version on youtube.com/Newbiespud. Thank you. If you want to support more games like this, you can throw a few bucks at patreon.com/Newbiespud or paypal.me/Newbiespud. You want to follow for notifications on when this goes live, you can follow me at twitter.com/Newbiespud. And that's about it.
Hopefully this next one will not take a month to get to.
Next week we're gonna have another alternating campaign now that Cinematic Universe is over, and it's gonna be run by Zenkarn in the Engine Heart system, and I'm really excited for that.
Me too.
Frick, I still have to make it. I'm so bad at this lately.
That's fine. We've had plenty of time, so
Yeah.
So theoretically, we should be back on the 14th.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, theoretically, we should be back on the 14th, barring any more BS from life.
BS from life.
we'll keep you all informed.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Mhm.